Welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Scott Myzak, Application Engineer here at CAD Technology Center. Today's topic will be Infraworks 2019.0, the new features. We will be recording this, so if you missed this or you missed something that I mentioned, this will be put up on our YouTube website in the near future. I will be taking questions during the presentation. If I think I got to stop to clarify right at that point, I will go ahead and stop. Also, I'm going to wait right till the end to answer any questions that I may have. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So what's new in Infraworks? First thing of all, it was released April 18th, so we're pushing about 3 weeks now. They broke the new features down into three categories: design, optimize, and connect. In the design, we're going to look at structures, parametric tunnels, terrain, customized terrain contours, and roads, component road modeling updates. Under optimize, we have line girder analysis for steel girders. And then under the connect, import road models as Civil 3D corridors, shared views for Infraworks and Civil 3D, product interoperability, dynamic integration with Revit, and then connecting with BIM 360. So first of all, parametric tunnels. We now have the ability that when we build a tunnel, if we click on technically the face on there, we will get the ability to apply dimensioning in there. Lane width left, right, the median, all that information. Before it was a style. It was an old school road that was everything was based off of the style. Now I have the ability to come in and modify it as I need fit. New view settings for contours. In the engineering view, I can actually turn on my contours. And from there, it's like level of detail. As I zoom in, I'll see tighter contours. As I zoom out, I'll see a wider range of contours. Downside of it, it is for existing terrain only. So something we bring in from Model Builder. If we bring in a raster image for terrain, that will be considered terrain. If we build something using the coverage area or the land use area, that's going to be considered design and will not come through with the contours. If we build a corridor, that will not come through with this contours. It is existing terrain only. When you update a model, curves are no longer automatically placed. So it will come in, and before it would say, oh, here, I'm converting it and I'm going to change it to that. Now it will be left as a PI, and you'll have the ability to add a curve to it. So you'll actually see add curve to your properties, not add PI. When you do an intersection, when you're using design road to design road to component road, before it would actually blend one curb into the other. So as we see here on the left, we got curb coming all the way down, and then the curve is less on the east-west road, and it would just blend it. Now it actually comes through and it will actually stop from one curb to another. Line girder analysis. When I drop in a bridge, if I click on the girder, I'll have the ability to invoke the line girder analysis, give it a job name, give it a job number, permissible factor, reverse bending plot, consider, and I can actually start that analysis. And there, so I can actually look, hey, is this going to be sufficient? Model upgrades. Some key things to know when you upgrade a model from 2018.2 to 2019.0. The new modeling engine that paves the way for the greater detail and control of the road design. The process of upgrading models has been tested on dozens of models provided to Autodesk over the last 6 months, so they're comfortable with this. But the key thing that you need to know is if you have design roads, they are automatically converted to a component road during the upgrade. when you're upgrading a model, you have three types of models that you can upgrade. A cloud model with cache, just a local model only, or just a cloud model. So with the cloud model with cache or a local model only, you have two options. Upgrade the model. The local cache copy is upgraded. And when you sync your model for the first time, that cloud model will be migrated to BIM 360. This is going to be the big thing, is BIM 360. If you upgrade a copy, local cache model is copied and upgraded. Changes from the cloud version are not synced. So right now I'm pulling something that's local. I can upgrade it, that's fine. But once I publish for the first time, it will be published to the BIM 360 environment. If you're dealing with a cloud model without cache, the model is upgraded while it's downloaded and opened. During the first sync, changes will be resolved between the cloud version and the local version. But again, that cloud model will be migrated to BIM 360. Tips and tricks: make a copy of your model before you do any upgrading. While it's been tested and Autodesk is confident with the upgrade process, always make a copy. And right now it wouldn't hurt to make a copy of the 2018 copy and then having the 2019. After you upgrade your model, check your roads and intersections in case there was something that tweaked during the upgrade. And there is a hotfix for Infraworks 2019.0. Before you upgrade any models, install that hotfix. Funny part was, Infraworks was released April 18th. The hotfix was released before the actual software. So, install that hotfix before you upgrade any models. Make a copy of your models before you do any upgrading. And then once you've upgraded, check your roads and intersections just to make sure that something didn't go awry. The BIM 360 side, I mentioned this during the upgrade process, that there's no longer going to be that third-party software where you store your model in the cloud and then you invite people. So those default groups that we used to have, they're gone. Everything is now going to use BIM 360. So what does that mean for us? With BIM 360, I need an account. Well, if your company already has BIM 360, contact your contract admin to gain rights to it. Assign, you don't personally have to be the contract admin to the entire account, but inside BIM 360, I can make projects. And if I have my contract admin assign me rights to a project as an administrator for just that one project, I can then make subfolders underneath that project folder for all of my Infraworks models. And then from there, if I want to invite people, I can do that. But if your company does not have BIM 360, you can sign up for the 12-month preview. That is, if your company has an AEC collection, you're entitled to a 12-month preview. Your contract admin should have already received an invitation from that, so contact them. You could reach out to us and we can look that up for you. Or you can just flat out sign up for a 30-day trial of BIM 360. Or the easiest, purchase BIM 360. The key thing to know is at the end of the preview or the trial, so either after the 12 months or the 30-day, you will have an additional 30 days where your models will be kept, during which time you'll need to subscribe to BIM 360 to maintain the access. So if I end my trial on June 1st, 30 days later, it's going to say, hey, you don't have rights to this anymore. It will still let me access BIM 360, but I won't be able to add or subtract. I'll be able to download. And after that next 30 days, it's going to say, all right, you no longer have access to it. Prime example of what I have in here is here's BIM 360. I was given rights to a project folder, and it was called Infraworks Models and my name. And inside it, I created two new folders, one called 2019 Demo and one called WizDot. From in there, I right-clicked on one of my folders and I said permission. And then it said, all right, in the next one, give me an email address. And at that point, I put in someone's email address, and then I gave them their level of permissions, whether it be view only, view and upload, edit, control. I gave them full control. At this point, they would receive an invite, and they would be able to see my model. They would be able to download my model. If they had Infraworks on their machine, they would be able to edit my model. The best thing about BIM 360 is the fact that you could actually preview the model, mark up the model without actually going into the model. I can do the preview within BIM 360. But now that I've gone through and I've created folders to store my models and then invited people the new way, I can move on. Without BIM 360, so there's a lot of companies out there that haven't joined or signed up for BIM 360 yet. If I build a model in Model Builder, it will be stored locally in a temporary location. If you go into your application options, it will show you where it's being stored. And that model will always remain local. Until I get BIM 360, I will not be able to share my model with anyone else. You can change the location by, again, the folder prior to using Model Builder or duplicating the model. Here, with BIM 360, we simply choose the folder and it goes there. All this has to be done before we go into Model Builder, before we duplicate a model, because just like those default groups, if it's not built beforehand, it's not going to give us the option to select it, and we don't have the ability to build a folder in BIM 360 once we're in Model Builder. We have to build it first, then go into Model Builder. Other things we need to know about the BIM 360 change. Cloud collaboration still works for older releases of Infraworks. So if I'm still running 2018.2, the way I've done it in the past is going to be the way I can still do it. As long as I don't upgrade to 2019, I'll be fine. Model Builder, it will use default groups in the older releases, 2018.2 and below. And so we don't have to worry about that BIM 360 if we're still in 2018.2 or older. Due to some EU constraints, the cloud services of watershed analysis, traffic simulation, line girder analysis, profile optimization, and quarter optimization will only be valid in the latest release. So in 2019.0 is the only software or the only version that I can get these five. If I'm in 2018.2 and I was about ready to optimize my quarter, I'm not going to be able to do it. These five, only in the latest release. The web and mobile views, no longer available. So that Infraworks 360 on the iPad, it's gone. You have to now use BIM 360. Other things, some newer things about Infraworks. In the past, if we brought in a road, a design road or a component road, it came into Civil 3D as an alignment and a profile. Now it'll actually come into Civil 3D as a corridor. So it will build my corridor for me. The only problem is I must have the assembly created prior to bringing in that model. And it will take that one assembly and it will build one region from beginning to end. If I have a complex corridor where it's dividing things up, it's going to be one region, one design all the way through. I'll have to come through later and modify, put some conditionals in there, put in some targeting along that line. But it will now come in as a corridor. You just need an assembly to assign to it as you're bringing it in. It will use the alignment and profile from Infraworks, but I need the assembly to complete the corridor. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the software. And I have a model open right now, and I have a tunnel on one side, tunnel on the other side, and I want to go ahead and make manipulations to my tunnel. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom into it. Whoops. Right there. If I click on the top of the tunnel, I get basic parameters. Tunnel 1, it's road 13. Nothing too exciting on there. But if I click on the face of my tunnel, I now get the parametric capabilities. What is the height at center? The left, the right lanes, the median width, the slopes, cross slopes, 2%, thickness of the wall, the floor, all that information I can now control through this property dialog box with tunnels. I'm not forced to come in to my palette. Whoops. Let's get that onto the right screen here. And pick a model or a style from here. I have the capabilities of designing it within the software right here. Contours. Right now, I don't see any contours in here. But if I zoom out a little bit, still no contours. If I switch to engineering view, contours. And you can see right now it's set up to be every 25-foot contour interval in there. But as I zoom in, hey, now it's every 5 foot. And as I zoom in, there's every foot. So the closer I get, the more contours I'm going to see. Right now, they're set up to be gray with the white lettering. But if I come in and I go into my settings in there, I have the ability to make those adjustments in there. So here are my contours. The line color, all right, gray, smoky blue. Let's make them red. Say okay. Now I got red. And then the color of the elevation text, we're going to make those yellow. Say okay. And now I have red and yellow. So I can go ahead and make these changes as I need to. But again, it's only existing terrain. Can't do this for proposed just yet. And since it was in the engineering view, I could go into the conceptual design in there and make the adjustments to that. So you could see that in the contours in the conceptual also. Engineering works just fine for me. Go ahead and close out of that. Line girder analysis, one of their new features. I'm going to quickly just jump to my bridge. And there is my bridge. And if I click on it, it's my road. Line girder analysis. I'm going to go ahead and pick my bridge. And I hit enter. And it says, nope, you can't do that. This feature is currently unavailable on parametric girder bridges. Well, it said steel bridge girders. I clicked the steel girder bridge. The problem is I actually clicked the decking of the bridge. So if I want to run this analysis again, I'll escape out, click line girder. Since it's a line girder analysis, let's actually go ahead and click on the girder. Now I have the ability to plug in that information. And there's my job name, Bubba Gump, job number, permissible factor, reverse bending plot. We'll include that. Consider harpened tendons. And then my results. I can run my analysis on this and then get the results. I could run it. I, not being a structural guy, wouldn't be able to tell you if they were good results or not. Line girder analysis, tunnels, contours. We're going to go back into Model Builder really quick, and we're going to show you some of the BIM 360 stuff right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Model Builder, and I'm going to quickly zoom in to my office. And I'm going to build a model of this area. So just like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and build an area. But now, once I've built my area, I give it a name, office, search BIM 360 folders. Because I've been established an account already, I have to use BIM 360. And what you will see is I have a couple folders that I was assigned to prior, but I have project folders in here for Infraworks models. There's my project file for WisDot, and then I have to create one for the 2019 demo in there. I have to pick that. This will get assigned right here, just like you had your default groups. If that default group wasn't built prior, it's not going to be selectable here. I have to make sure that I go into BIM 360 and assign my rights there. So I'm going to come in, bring this down, BIM360.autodesk.com. Going to log in. And in here are the projects that I have access to. Sandbox, CAD Technology Center. Oh, it actually took me to Glue, not even to our B360.autodesk. Let's get to the right spot. So now I have project files. There's my 2019 demo. One of my coworkers put a file underneath there. There's my WisDot. So from there, I should have rights to have assigned some models there. And it is not showing me that one for some reason, but it should. So if I were to close out, come back in, it should work. Maybe let's add a subfolder and call it demo. Now I have a demo folder. I'm going to get out of that, go back into Model Builder. And I'll have to look into that, why I'm not getting rights to anything besides the WisDot folder. But that is something that I have to look into. That is something that we're going to have to get used to, is assigning our BIM 360 folders prior to coming into the software, because it's not the default groups that we used to have. With that, that actually concludes the webinar. The new features, again, tunnels have parametric capabilities. I'm able to see contours with the level of detail. Change the contours. Again, only existing terrain will work on the contours. My bridge line girder analysis works. Just make sure that when you pick the girders, or when you pick the bridge, you're picking the girders and not just the decking or anything along that line. It only works when you hit the girders. And then they've eliminated all of the old versions of sharing your models. If you're in 2019, you have to go to BIM 360 Docs. So yes, if I'm in 2019.0, I have to use BIM 360 to share. If I don't share, if I don't want to share, I don't need BIM 360, and it will just store everything locally for me. With that, I believe I've answered all the questions that have come in. the one that came in about BIM 360 and Model Builder. Again, yes, if you do not own BIM 360 and you're not running the trial, it will just store it locally on you. And if you go into your options, it'll show you where it's being stored. So with that, if you want to download the latest and greatest, go to your desktop app, go to your accounts.autodesk page, and it should tell you, hey, there's updates. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and keep an eye out on our website for future webinars and future mini trainings.